This video is intended to give an overview of the Canmore Rec Center. This might raise more questions than answer, but I just want to do a walk through the entire building and just show where some of the mechanical penetrations are and structural supports and other things like that. So if you look up, you'll see those solar panels. I'll point out which system those run to later on. The building was built in 3 different phases. So this section down here is the original hockey rink. The comm hall upstairs where those solar panels are sitting were included with that. Everything you can see here with the green roof running down this way is all part of the addition that was done when the pool was added. Initially it was, I believe, built to be around the time of the Olympics. So you can see there's a dropped roof right here. I'll point that out on the inside, and then I'll also point out a couple things about the other roof lines from the inside, and also when I walk around on the roof as well. So this front entrance area was added as part of this addition, and you can see as you come through the front entranceway, everything that is pretty much from this line here over this way is all part of the pool addition. Everything that we're looking at down this way is all part of the original build, and that I believe comes over as far as the back of the concession. So this wall here. So I think that the storage area over is new. Yeah, like this wall here, where you can see this brick. That would have originally been the exterior wall for the new, or for the first phase, the original building. Everything where I'm standing over this way and from this line over, including that storage space back there, that is all done during the pool addition. Maybe I'll start with this part of the building. So these walls here are just after the fact stud walls. This area is heated in a couple of different ways. You can see here in these offices, there's this perimeter heating that runs through all of these offices, down this wall, through each of these, and then runs along here. It carries on, it runs all through all the gymnastics area. It's broken up into a couple different zones, controlled by a pneumatic system. So there's a control for this area in here, there's another control for this area in here. And then this space is also heated through a forced air system that is direct fire. So runs 24 hours a day, both pulling in fresh air, heating it as needed, and exhausting it to the outside air. The exhaust for it is right about there. And this duct, I'll show you where that runs on the inside of the mechanical room. You can see the this little bump in the ceiling here, and that's because this section here has got a slightly lowered roof than the upper part. On this wall, where you see that bump in the ceiling, from about roughly just past this beam all the way down on the exterior wall is that wall is open to the outside air. From about maybe where that trampoline is, on the other side of the wall, there's an area back there that used to be the pool mechanical room. So along here we've got gymnastics office, Used to be the old pool office. This used to be the old steam room in here. You can see it's still tiled as such. These areas go into the women's and men's change rooms. They have in each of them little reheat coils up in the roof that get a little heat off of the system, which I'll show you upstairs later on. Same thing in the men's. This room here, once upon a time, used to be a sauna. There was a steam room and a sauna. This room here used to be the lifeguard's room. There's a penetration in that wall because there used to be a dryer there. You can see the ducting overhead, and this is tying into stuff I'll show you later in the other rooms. Coming in here, this used to be the pool boiler room. So these two big super hots here are what used to heat the pool water, and they also heated the water for the loop that runs out along the perimeters and heats the exterior perimeter walls of this space and down those offices and stairwell, as well as that front entranceway. The super hots gas line comes in right here. You can see this large line that's feeding them. It's also running upstairs to feed a bunch of other equipment upstairs. On the other side of this wall right here, in the little corridor between the pool and the second arena, there is a gas meter. That's one of the two locations that we currently get our natural gas fed from. If you look up here, this is sort of hard to see, but because there's so much equipment, that duct up there that you're seeing up above is the same duct that is running out here, this green one out here. Well, in here it's wrapped, and it is actually up on the second floor. So you see that little red platform, there's a catwalk up there, and it runs across here, and you can't see it very well from down here, but up above us there is, there we go, a little better. You can see this catwalk with these steel beams, and that is supporting the exhaust fan, which right now you're looking at the bottom of that exhaust fan. Here you're seeing the exhaust stacks off of the, shut this off for a second. Just gonna shut that off so you can hear me. You're seeing the exhaust stacks that are coming off the boilers, and you'll be able to see those from up above. Above me here, there's an exhaust fan. This is exhausting air from the pool change rooms. You see another exhaust fan here, also exhausting from the pool change rooms, and valves for the heating loops. My understanding is absolutely everything in here is getting gutted, which means what's going to be left is, after all the equipment's removed, this penetration above me, this is new because we put in a filter bank to deal with the chalk, but this up above me, which is accessible from the second floor, is where the exhaust air is being taken out of this space. And so if you look all around the perimeter, you'll see the area where the air is getting pulled in, and that's the exhaust fan that's taking it and dumping the air outside. Over here, we've got a couple of domestic hot water tanks and a solar preheat tank. This solar preheat tank, this is the one that's running to those ones that I showed you when we were first walking into the building. It's a very, very long run because it goes up here into this second floor mechanical room up above us, and it runs all the way along there, and then it goes up into the ceiling, crosses over into the community hall, and from the community hall it goes over into the stairwell from outside to the second stairway, and then out onto the roof up there. This back here used to be the pool filter room. So this is where the filters were, this is where the pumps were, this is where the chlorine was kept in this little room back here. You can see the wall was knocked out. That used to be a separate little room for the chlorine storage. So under here is access to the all the underworkings of the pool's piping system. Same here, you can see the steel cover that's currently covered in bikes. That is where the pool water was fed through. So we've got a door to outside here, another one here. And I'm just going to walk out back here so that you can get a frame of reference for where we are. So out here, this is that back wall that I was talking about earlier. This over here, this is the curling rink. So this back wall is kind of where I was saying on the inside, where that beam is the roughly the break point for where this dropped roof is here. So you can see the difference in the roof lines here. So this lower roof that we're looking at, that roof is just over the little room that's full of bikes. That raised roof up here, that roof line is above the mechanical room upstairs. So if you look at this big penetration coming out here, that is the exhaust fans for the big exhaust unit that pulls the air to that pool space. And as I walk down, so this little corridor area between the two buildings is where the meter is that I was pointing at inside. So right here we've got that natural gas meter that's running in, and then up here you can see this this fresh air intake. So that's where the unit that is feeding that area is getting its air from. You see these two black pipes running down the exterior. There's two insulated lines, two uninsulated lines. So this is running over to these air conditioning units. And so these air conditioning units that are over here, neither one of them works anymore. One of them was still working up until last year, but these two units are both to feed the Peaks space. So that's the upstairs space. If we're looking at it from out here, it is the space between the comm hall and up on the second floor above the pool lobby area, which we walked through earlier, now kind of the gymnastics area lobby. And we'll be up in that space shortly. I just wanted to show you from out here roughly what the reference point was. And so those two air conditioning units no longer work, and they only fed Peaks. This space here that I'm currently beside, so this space here currently has no air conditioning. It's only heated. It does get quite warm during the hottest days of summer. It might not need a whole lot of air conditioning because it's really only on the hot days that it gets really hot. Otherwise it's not terrible. I'm just going to walk us through the men's change room so that you can get a bit of a reference. So this wall here in this this little room that used to be the lifeguards room, this runs down. This is outside this wall is the corridor that we were just looking at from from out there. And that wall just backs onto the change room that we're about to walk through. Similarly, the pool office and the little steam room just back onto the women's change room. So coming through the men's change room here. So right now, since the air handling unit that normally feeds this space is been decommissioned, this is mostly just passively getting its air through that little door that we just walked through. It's kind of a jail style door. There's a reheat coil up in the roof here, and the unit that this airspace normally is fed from is currently been decommissioned due to the exhaust gases getting through. So here we've got just a small little janitor's closet. Here we have the women's change room that I was just referring to on the other side. And oh, I thought the lights were on in here, but you can see where it backs onto those other rooms. This space, same thing, reheat coil up there, no longer working, just passively getting its air from the forced air in the gym. In here, we have the concession space. So this room here is the, excuse me. Sorry, I'm just doing a video for the architects and engineers that are doing the renovation. So this ductwork here, I'll be up above and show you the other side of that, but this is the unit that's currently been decommissioned that normally feeds all of this end of the building, this lobby space, these change rooms, and everything else. This wall, I believe, is the wall that used to be the dividing line between the old building and the pool addition. So this, I believe, used to be an exterior wall at one point in time. If you look up here, down at the end, you can see where this, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it with this video, but anyways, right here is where it comes from the second floor down to this floor. And I'll show you further down where this ductwork splits out and covers that area. In here we have the concession. The exhaust for the concession runs up from here along this wall, and I'll show you where the exhaust comes out on the roof. It also runs up through the lobby area and through there. It's kind of sticks out a little bit in the lobby. So everything in this area, these change rooms and everything, are currently getting their hot water from those two domestic hot water tanks that we looked at in the pool. They're probably far more than what we'll need in the future, because in the future there isn't going to be any change rooms with showers. There's just going to be washrooms, and I believe that's going to be fed from a central system. So my flashlight and video might not adequately show what's up in the ceiling, but you can see where the ductwork runs down that hallway from the other ductwork I was just showing, and it comes along and it branches off in various locations. So none of this ductwork is actively really having air moving through it, because, like I said, that unit is currently been decommissioned. I'm not sure how much else you can see. It's kind of an awkward place, but now I'll take you upstairs and I'll show you where all of those units are on the other side. This is a exterior entrance. This is just to the left of where I walked into the building initially. This little room here is just a little tacked on storage room. It's just really basic. This here, this unit is fed from that hot water loop that is running through the building. So it's providing the heat for this space. It's controlled from that thermostat right there. And similarly, this space up here above the entranceway, there's a feed from the boiler system from the old pool that heats that space. This stairwell accesses the Peaks room, which is where the gymnastics used to be located when that was still a pool. And it currently has some dry land equipment. This is going to be what becomes the community hall. So this space used to be air conditioned, but it's no longer working air conditioning. That's why there's these big fans to help cool it off. We've been opening the dampers overnight to bring in cold air and then closing them during the day to keep the cold air in here. So where you see this running through here, I'm going to show you where that is on the other side of this wall. So if you look down here, this used to be, where's the light? This used to be exterior wall previously. So everything you can see over here is addition, and that corresponds with downstairs. So if you think of, so on the other side of this block wall is the elevator. So if you look downstairs where the elevator is, you can see where the exterior wall used to be. So everything over on this side is all part of that part with the green roof on it. Okay, coming back over here. So down this wall, so this wall was once an exterior wall from the original building, and all of this from here over is all addition. This is entering into the mechanical room. So this wall here is the wall that I was referring to. You can see the exterior wall from the original building. Up here in this corner, we've got that penetration there going through that previous exterior wall is for the solar system that's up on the roof. The reason I'm pointing it out is because on the opposite side of this, so like right here is about where the concession exhaust runs through. So that comes out just beside it. So if that concession exhaust needs to get moved, it's going to have to come and be relocated to right about here and penetrate through the roof that way if you want to make some space in the hallway. So this unit here is an indirect. That's why we've shut it down, because the exhaust gases were getting through. This is where it runs through into that storage room that's behind the bar. So you can probably see, well, you can't really see, but that's where it kind of turns the corner and it runs down below us. So this here, what we're looking at is just the other side of these openings running down this wall. So that's all of our return air for these units. So this here, this is the air intake that I was pointing to outside. So that far end of that corridor between the two buildings, there is the opening where I said these units are getting their fresh air from. So coming back to these units, so this one AHU4, So it's bringing its fresh air in here from outside. This is where we are manually bringing cold air in from. So this unit, AHU4, and this one beside it, AHU3. You can see where it says 15 tons and 10 tons. That's what those two air conditioning units provided when they used to work. And so we have the air conditioning lines that were coming in here, and then the heating is supplied through this glycol water heat exchanger that is hooked up to that those two big super hot boilers downstairs. This right in front of me is the air that's getting fed from this direct fired unit, and that direct fired unit is going out into the gymnasium space, what used to be the pool space. So right in front of me, this here is the line that separates. This side is upstairs in the Peaks room, that space I just walked through, and from here over is the upper part of the gymnastics area, that upper space. So this is the one that on the other side of that wall it's painted green. This one is the round one on the other side. You can see here where it switches from square to round, and then on the other side of the wall it's the round one running out there. If we crawl underneath here, this is coming over to that catwalk that I referred to earlier. This catwalk that I'm standing on now is the one that I pointed out to you from below. You can see the door open down there where I was showing you the boilers down there, and the two domestic hot water tanks, the solar preheat tank. You can see its lines running up here. Like I said, it's a very long run because they go all the way over there and all over the place. If we look at right in front of me here, so the structure that this catwalk is currently sitting on is also supporting this unit here. I don't believe that it needs to support anything other than this unit and the catwalk, because the beams here are what's supporting the main structure. So this catwalk area can be easily reused or reconfigured to suit whatever replacement air handling units come in here. It could either be completely taken out and open this whole space up completely, the lower level right up to this upper level, second floor. And in my opinion, when that is done, there should be some kind of ladder, an access ladder going from the lower mechanical room to the upper mechanical room. Right now that's not the case, and it would simplify things greatly. Back here, if I shine my light, so you can see the that wall there, that's where the higher level ends. So when I pointed out outside where that roof drops down, other side of that wall is the slightly drop down roof. You can actually see the Z-girts down there from the other roof, and that roof is the one that's over that bike area, that bike workshop spot. If you look through here, move these filters out of the way. So that's coming off of those super hot boilers down there, and you can see where the gas lines are running up from below, and those gas lines are coming over and feeding this equipment here. What else to show you here? Just come over this way, try and get a bit better look of where this wall comes up and what this looks like back behind these units. So you can see that the headroom clearance is quite different throughout here. I measured the other day, and from from about roughly that light, which is about a midway point in the slope of this roof, down to that floor is about 20 feet. And then it's about 20 feet from here to there. And then I think it was something like 17 from this wall to that one, to give you some rough dimensions of what there is for space there. And then here, you know, the light represents about the midway point between the two walls. And where the light is, there's approximately 8 feet of headroom going up towards where these other lights are. And then going down that way, you drop off to probably about, oh, I don't know, 4.5 feet or something like that at the lowest point. I think that's probably about it for in here. So now I'm going to go, we're on the second floor, and I'm going from this peaks area here. So other side of that wall is the high open area space in the gymnasium. And now I'm going to walk through here. So again, elevator there. This is part of the original building. So this wall here would have been an exterior wall as well, I believe. This space here, this coat check area, just off the elevator.